person's decisions or result can affect your legacy and everyone else's legacy. And by TJ Dillashaw, the champ at 135, going down to 125 and fighting Henry Cejudo, and then getting knocked out, like that affected everyone else, because then coming into that fight, they were like, oh, well, TJ knocked out Cody. So that's, it's almost like they're questioning everyone that TJ's beat now. Like now it's this giant like ripple effect in a pond. Like he threw a rock into a pond by fighting Henry and getting knocked out like that, because now everyone's like, oh, you got knocked out by a 125er, dude. 125ers don't knock people out. Like it just doesn't happen very often. Right. And so now it affected Cody. And granted, because going into that fight, a lot of people were saying we're going for Pedro. They were like, oh, Pedro's going to win that fight. I'm like, that was the main event, wasn't it? That wasn't even the John Jones thing people were excited about. Supposedly people were excited about that one. That's from I was excited to see Cody get back into it and see what he was going to do. Yeah, coming off the 2 straight knockouts. But it's just interesting, because then everyone was like, there's a lot of people favoring Pedro going into that, and I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is. I've never even heard of him. And just because TJ just got knocked out by a 125er, all of a sudden everyone's like, Cody doesn't have a chin anymore, bro. Like he got knocked out by a guy that got knocked out by 125, and to me, TJ is one of the best. Like TJ is one of the best. And one of the things that I've been learning as a noob in this kind of sport is what the mind does and the preparation. Like I didn't realize there was such a thing as like overtraining and over preparation, and then the mental aspect from it. Like to me, one of the funnest things to always watch is like the weigh-ins, right? Because there's those guys that are really respectful and and they'll bow in or whatever. But then there's guys out there that will legitimately get in your head. And if you allow for them to get in your head, like I can imagine Cody, right? You get knocked out twice. You're going into it be like, if I get knocked out the third time, everybody has a default thought, well, am I a loser after that, right? And so it messes with you. It messes with your ability, I think, to perform. And so I wonder if that had to do something with that, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I'm sure. Of those guys, he's a young guy. He doesn't have a ton of fights or anything. All of those guys, they deal with the same. I was watching Dillashaw. Shab was interviewing TJ, and Shab was like, "So, do you watch the fights? Do you like on your days off, whatever?" He goes, "No, man. When I watch him, it gives me anxiety." And I get it, because it's that whole trickling effect. Kind of like when we were talking a couple episodes about Kron Gracie, right? And you have the biggest target on your back, right? Yeah. And if you screw up mentally or in your technique in any aspect, like. It's like a trickling effect, right? Like, oh, I beat the Gracies, right? Like, are the Gracies anything? No, you just somebody slipped for 1 second and you had an advantage, and so it makes sense that a lot of these guys they train physically all day long, but mentally it gets to you. That anxiety gets to you. Oh, man. I don't know. When when I used to do BJJ like in a consistent basis, and when I felt like I was at the top of my game, one of my best friends at the time was me. Well, you weren't grappling with me then, bro. Who else would be? No. Who was there? No. I brought one of my best friends into the class, and we kind of went up together as the BJJ, and it became so competitive. Like me and him were always super competitive anyway, and so it became so competitive. Like I would get anxiety, like when it come time, like because it always come down to me and him, like when it came to grappling at the end of the day, and it was just I don't know why, because now when I go to grapple, I'm like. I don't care. Like I don't care what happens. I don't want to lose by any means, but I don't. But I used to get so anxious, and he did too. Though I could see it in him too. That he'd get like disappointed, like scared and nervous because no one wants to get tapped out by the other one. And I still to this day, like I'm just I guess maybe I'm a different person now because I just don't understand what was going through my head. You're more woke now. Yeah, dude, I'm so woke right now. Woke. Yeah, I don't know. But. So I get where you're coming from because I keep thinking about this as a white belt. By the way, 2-stripe white belt now. We haven't talked about this. Got my second stripe. Last week, bro. Getting up there. Hey, the white drill, got it. Climbing the green drill, got it. Climbing that ladder. God, that journey, bro. Yeah. So proud of you. As a white belt, like I have zero anxiety. Like, cause I never go into any situation that I'm grappling with, cause we're not allowed to grapple with white belts, but grappling with a green belt, blue belt, and anybody up. I never go with like this. Oh, I tapped out. Oh man. To me, like this is like the healthiest and happiest place I think you could ever be because you only go up because you constantly lose, and the best way of winning is just make it through the round without getting tapped out, right? Right. So tapping out for me, it's almost like practice. Okay, the quicker I tap out, the quicker we start all over again. Now I'm sure there's a different mindset behind it where like you got to figure out and think about how to get out of it. You know why that is though? What's that? Because you're a pussy, bro. Whoa.
I don't know if it was a noise canceling headphones, but that hurt me physically and emotionally.
You heard me.
I was exposing to you.
I ain't tapping out to nobody,
dude. But I can imagine being like, okay, so one day I will be a blue belt, and I bet you anything, like there's going to be anxiety that comes with it. Like, okay, great, I have to be a blue belt. Now, if I tap out to another blue belt, that's fine. Like I had an advantage, we're all the same class.
Right.
But what about tapping out to another white belt that perhaps had an advantage on you where you slipped on something? Like, I bet you that eats away at you, right? Because, so I don't know. I feel like right now I'm at the least, I'm like the healthiest mindset that you could be, which later on things change, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, you never know when you're going against a white belt what kind of background he has.
The amount of, it turns out they're collegiate wrestler, right?
Yeah, and a lesson I learned a long time ago is I remember I was teaching boxing to some people, and I was playing
ISIS.
Well, of course, the only person I would teach boxing to.
All right, bros, get in here. Okay, number 1, death to America. Okay, number 2.
Yeah, number 2, slip the right, come over with the left. It's the only way to win.
Which brings me back to number 1. All right, so you're teaching.
No. It's a lesson I learned a long time ago. Is that if you're messing around with like grown adults, like anything can happen because everyone's got adult power. Like you have that strength. You know, once you become, maybe like 24, 25 years old, you get kind of this adult strength.
Yeah,
you no longer have the little kid strength anymore. Yeah. And I was teaching some kids not some kids. There were some adults how to box, and I was messing around with the guy. We were sparring, and he caught me with I was seeing stars for a minute, and I was like, oh shit. That's what I said to myself. Yeah. Oh shit, I should probably stop fucking around because I was. And then after that, it was kind of it was a good lesson learned in just a stupid little setting that kind of taught me a lesson for the rest of my life. Was like you don't just mess around with grown adults. Like
well, it's funny because
at any time I could be at the bar thinking that I'm the fucking shit and I could get knocked the fuck out. Like it'll happen.
There's a 40-year-old that can pick you up and throw you down, right?
Yeah, there's probably somebody out there. I'm sure there's somebody. Hey, if you're out there, come get me. Yeah, come find me, bro. I'm sure you're out there. Just haven't found you yet.
Yeah. Our email is pillowtalkpod@outlook.com. Subject line: Jeremiah's ass.
Challenge. Challenge.
Subject matter coming for you.
Yeah. Who's the strongest guy in Podcast City?
Start the sentence with "make you squeal like a pig, boy."